Good night to my night shifters. I am fresh off the hospital host roll, the prescription plantation, and your girl is tired. Real tired. I spoke of the lifers that were at that particular county jail out in the desert where I was. Funny because it was out in the middle of nowhere. I wondered where y'all finding these people because they don't live here. But anyway, I said we would talk about that later. I figured why not let this be later? As I spoke, the lifers were older. Again, they paid me to show up and mind my business. I had the few, I'm going to say 3. There were more than that, maybe 5. They were in PC, 23 and 1. So PC is protective custody for those that don't know. 23 and 1 is just that. They're locked down 23 hours. They're out for 1 hour a day individually, not all together. But if they choose to have their hour, they're usually walk-in laps. They are not allowed to have tablets like the other inmates can. They cannot have tablets. If I'm remembering correctly, their visitation was limited, but I'm going to get into that too. I never purposely go looking for anybody's charges. I'm going to tell you why. Because we are human beings. As much as I would like to say I can keep it professional, I cannot take it personal. I'm a mama, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin, I'm a niece. I just say the less I know, the better. I'm going to call the first one Simon. Simon gave everybody an issue, apparently. When it was my turn to have that particular unit, I was warned about Simon. Simon was an older white gentleman that stood about 6'6", very slim. I don't even think his face could form a smile. Considering the circumstances, understood. Everybody warned me about this Simon person. And the COs, well, I'm not going to call them COs. This was the sheriff's office. Deputy sheriffs are like, yeah, let us know if Simon give you any problems. We'll take care of it. I'm like, okay. Don't that apply to all of them? I'm minding my business. Like I said, out here, I was a unicorn. I got the inmates that were winking and, pointing, saying I was their girlfriend. But Simon would come to the door and just stare at me. Didn't bother me, as long as that door locked. As long as it's locked, keep staring, buddy. So what was happening in the past is that he wouldn't take his meds. I passed him through the flap. Looks like a mailbox at the door. The sheriff unlocks the flap. He has to stick his hand out. My hand does not go in. So he's to stick his hand out of the flap and take his medicine. He's supposed to open up, cough. I'm sorry, y'all, but I don't care. These people are grown. If they don't want to swallow this shit, okay. I don't get paid if you swallow it. I just get paid to show up and mind my business. Simon liked to spit his medicine out at the glass. Don't bother me. Spit all you want to. That's on your side of the door, not mine. If you like it, I love it for you, sir. He's an old man that don't want to take psych meds. I get it. The deputies would be really harsh with him. And I didn't understand why. At one point, he was banging on the door, calling me all out my name. Hard E, hard R. Rhymes with which. Didn't bother me. I get paid to show up and mind my business. This day, he just didn't seem right. Something was off. And he had a black eye. So I'm thinking he got beat up. I'm not going to assume it was the officers. I'm just saying he looked like he was a little sad and a little battered. I'm like, look, Simon, you don't know me, I don't know you. Take this medicine. I don't know what you did to these people, but they are waiting to whoop your ass. For any reason, take the medicine. You look like you need a good night's sleep anyway. Take the medicine and take the nap. For whatever reason, he nodded his head, knocked them pills back, sipped him some coffee, opened up. He put his finger in his mouth, coughed, and went and sat down on his bunk. I'm looking at the sheriff looking at me. I don't know. So his real name wasn't his real name in this facility. My stupid decided to ask, why y'all so hard on Simon? Why y'all itching to beat up on this man? He old, nah? Man, I don't know what he did, but he old. They just kind of looked at me. They were like, you hadn't looked at his charges? No, and I don't want to. Fast forward, Simon has a heart condition, and the physician was there, and he had clinic call. A lot of times, depending on the circumstances, the physician, a nurse, corrections, or whatever will go to the cell. This particular day, he was escorted to the clinic. The sheriffs were just scowling at him, and I'm like, what is really going on around here? But what they pay me to do, show up and mind my business. This is not supposed to happen, especially with someone on PC. They are not to be seen. We moved them at night, so the clinic was on the other side of intake. Intake is where the Sally port is, where they bring the inmates in, they get checked in, we do the whole whatever before they're assigned a cell. But the clinic is on the other side of that. Someone in intake was like, that is alive. What? He is alive. I wasn't the only nurse that noticed that this inmate recognized him. But that's a problem because he's supposed to be on PC. When the other inmate came over to the clinic and we're getting his scrubs and all of this stuff, he's like, do you know what that did? Listen, my ears don't work. There's no point of you telling me. It's no point of you telling me because they don't work. I can't hear. That's that killed all those little girls and spreaded their body parts all over the country. Oh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. No, don't tell me. I told you my ears didn't work. Damn it. Keeping a straight face, that is not my business. We get them separated. I did have to report that he was recognized by someone. At the very least, someone thought they recognized him. As I'm explaining, the officer was like, yeah. So every chance we get, he getting it. Oh my. This was, I lie to you not, 25 years prior. And the way they described it was, this girl that went to our church came up missing. I'm like, okay, that's enough. The story just kept coming. I'm like, so how did he end up here? Every prison in the area, they have a hit out on him. There's a price on his head. He cannot go anywhere. And I'm like, seriously? Why y'all just didn't let the trash take itself out? Man, I'm just saying, instead of beating up on the old man. I'm not saying that would be right, but I'm just saying, why torture the man? The officer was like, because he deserves to be tortured. I immediately went to my calendar to see when my last day was. Because I don't want to see it. I do not want to see it. I don't want to be a witness to it. If you tear something up, I got to be the one to fix it. I don't want to know. You know why? Because they pay me to what? Show up and mind my business. So there are a couple other different kind of crimes. There was one that several people in his family allegedly ate it. He's also in PC and cannot go into any prison system in that state. Wow. Oh, and about old dumbass that jumped over the thing, I guess I left out some details. So apparently, he had been crushing up his meds and sniffing them. Going back to see what's going on, the jumping over the rail was to get pain meds. I guess I should have added that to that video. And if you really want to know who I'm talking about, go back to the previous video so you know which dumbass I'm talking about. That's it, that's all. Just another tale from the prison nursing. Bye.